So you've probably heard the term cognitive dissonance before. This is something that if you know how to use it correctly, can be an awesome tool to help you live an authentic, aligned life. If you use it incorrectly or let it use you or be used by other people against you, it can completely screw things up. In fact, in this video, I'm even going to explain to you how cognitive dissonance can be used to turn you into a Nazi.
And at the very least, it can stop you from following through on your goals, getting things done, and actually creating the life you want. And in this video, I'm going to explain what is cognitive dissonance, how it affects our brains, and what you need to do about it if you actually want to have an authentic, aligned, awesome life. 3 A's, look at that. Oh my God, I am on a roll today.
So the term cognitive dissonance refers to a feeling of angst or unrest or unhappiness when your life or your actions are not aligned with your wants or your beliefs.
Cognitive dissonance shows up when someone preaches about monogamy and then runs off and has an affair.
In your mind, you have what you think life should be like, and then in reality, you have what life is. And if those aren't aligned, you experience cognitive dissonance.
Cognitive dissonance shows up when you're an empathetic, caring person and you pride yourself on helping others, but you ignore the person on the street who desperately needed a hand.
That kind of sounds great, right? It's like, hey, I have these values. I say I should treat people well and make a difference and exercise every day, and I'm not doing them. But hey, there's an alarm bell that tells me I should do them. Sounds great on the surface. And that's kind of how we should use cognitive dissonance correctly.
But we are master manipulators as humans, and we have found a much easier way out. And this is why cognitive dissonance is so dangerous.
We see these two things, and we have our values and our beliefs here. And they're like really high because we're idealists. And then you have like how you're actually acting, and you're like, oh man, there's this big difference, right? So then you feel this angst in the middle. So what can you do? Well, you could make some sacrifices and live up to your values and maybe make less money but do work that matters. Or you could be late for your business meeting because you stopped and helped that homeless person who really needed someone to talk to. Or you could lower your standards because that's usually way easier to do. And then, oh, there's no more pain because you're not living the life that you really wanted up here.
Perhaps my beliefs were I should get up at 6 a.m. every day and run in the snow and work really hard. And then it's like snowing outside and cold and the bed is comfy. And it's like, maybe I could just change that belief to be like, you know, I think it's really important to get enough sleep and be comfortable. And when you're comfortable and happy, that's when you can really do your best work. What is the right belief of those two? I don't know, and neither do you. You're just changing the belief to avoid going out into the snow. Let's be honest with each other here.
Most of the time, people will change their beliefs or lower their standards to justify their actions or their life rather than actually changing things on this side, because it's usually easier to make a mental change than to make a physical change in our world.
So, how does this really affect you as an individual? Well, think about it. If you're trying to pursue something extraordinary, you're going to come up against challenges. And sometimes we don't face those challenges in the best possible way. And there can be a point when you're trying to do something great with your life where you're not living up to your own vision for yourself, your own beliefs about how you should be behaving. And that negative feeling around that cognitive dissonance, can help pull you into action and lead you to change your behavior and keep going and make it happen. But it's also possible that if you're in a low state, maybe you're tired, you're run down, you're not around the kind of supportive people you should be, that when you're in that low point, instead of changing your actions, you change your wants. You're like, you know, I did want to do this really special thing, but that was probably being unrealistic, you know, and, you know, statistics say this, and a lot of small businesses, they don't really succeed. Maybe I'm better. And then you start shrinking what it is you say you want so you don't feel bad about the progress you've made towards it so far.
Think about how easy it is to coerce someone into changing their behavior. Yes, of course, you can do it at gunpoint, but most of the time it's like peer pressure, societal pressure, or even just kind of a nudge in the right direction, right? Most of the time when we do things we didn't want to do, it's not actually at a threat of violence. It's like a threat of social rejection, or maybe the threat of the threat of the threat of social rejection. So let's say you live in a society that's trying to stir up hatred towards a certain group, and you get nudged in this direction and you catch yourself doing something that was hateful to this group. Now, what you should experience is this cognitive dissonance where you say, no, I'm going to take a stand now. But If you take a stand, you risk violence to yourself and your own family, social rejection, and hey, that's gonna be really hard and could suck. And some people will take a stand, but most people will say, I already did this thing to this group. What if actually it was justified? Let's maybe search for reasons to justify my actions. Well, guess what? That's not very hard to do when you're living under a government pumping out propaganda to make you hate a certain group.
It's also possible in a relationship, where you're with someone who does not give you what you need, and ultimately you'd like to end that relationship because you believe a relationship should meet XYZ needs. You're an idealist, you have this great vision of what a relationship should be, and you're not getting that. And so in theory, you should end that relationship and find one that can really meet your needs. But ending a relationship is very painful. That involves a lot of discomfort, awkward conversations, confrontation, disappointing people. So perhaps you change those beliefs and you say, I was being unrealistic about what a relationship should be. I was being a romantic. That's not really possible. I should settle. I should go for something easier. So you lower your beliefs so they match your life. No more cognitive dissonance. Only downside is you now have a shitty life. And sometimes it is better to actually change our beliefs or our wants. Maybe you were raised with a certain religion, and as you travel and see the world, you realize, well, that's kind of ridiculous. Changing the beliefs rather than the actions is often a good thing, where you look at your actions and say, hey, this is my natural way of being. This is what I like doing. I have this belief system that was thrust on me by parents, culture, society, religion, whatever, that doesn't really make sense. It's like I'm trying to cram this animal into someone else's box and it doesn't make sense. We're definitely talking about premarital sex and monogamy here. Let's not lie to one another.
So working to change those beliefs, and a great way to do this is travel, is leaving your bubble, is meeting new people from other cultures. Even if they're in the same city as you, meet people from other cultures and backgrounds and belief systems, and then realize oh yeah, there are different ways I could believe or different ways I could live. And in following this channel, you might learn some new beliefs, some beliefs that are more aligned with how you naturally like to act. And then your beliefs and your actions can both be at an idealist level, and you won't have any of that nasty cognitive dissonance bringing you down.
If you are new to the channel, I publish new videos every week, as I said, helping you become the best version of yourself and create the most awesome life possible for you and those you love. So do subscribe, and do let me know in the comments what was your favorite part of this video. It helps me make better videos for you in the future. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video soon.